Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of old sheet music. I am your host, Nicholas Carroll. Tonight I'm looking at Misty by Johnny Burke and Errol Garner. This is a jazz standard, meaning it's like a popular jazz piece. If you've played jazz music, you've probably heard of it at some point. I used to be in a jazz band as a pianist in my college days, so I am familiar with this one. And it is from 1954, and there's been tons of different versions of this recorded by tons of different people. So if you Google it or something, you're probably going to find like all sorts of I don't want to say misinformation, but incorrect information saying it's by Ella Fitzgerald or it's by so-and-so or it's by so-and-so, because those are people who just recorded it, but they're not actually the people who wrote it. So, and that's how a lot of these types of songs are, that, you know, that become so popular, they have tons of versions that people kind of lose track of who wrote it, and it's just in your mind, it's whoever the most popular person who sang it was, but that's not necessarily who wrote it. So, as I usually do, I have the back of the paper I'm going to look at too, because this one is particularly amusing, given what I just told you about this being a jazz standard. Because on the back we got children's pieces advertised here. Children's Holiday contains a song for every important American holiday. And that is $1.50. And for the unusual in fantasy, the TV award-winning stories and songs, and Around the Children's Corner, and Tomorrow on the Children's Corner. So it looks to me that this one called Around the Children's Corner is meant to be like a Mr. Rogers thing. It has the characters from Mr. Rogers, though it doesn't actually seem to say anything there about him, so perhaps it's just an imitation. So that being said, when I look at it super closely, I'm still trying to see if it says, oh yeah, it does say Fred Rogers on there, really, really small, if you look really small. So it is officially that. So that being said, that means like this edition of this song, Misty, is certainly not the 1954 version. It's probably a reprint. It's not like the original sheet music. But the real song was written in that time. So being a jazz standard, it is quite slow, but it has tons of jazz chords, and it has a pretty elaborate piano part here with a lot of accidentals, which is what you would expect from jazz. When I was playing in this jazz band I talked about, I used basically just lead sheets, standard jazz charts, so I never really played something like this where it was all written out, so being that I wasn't the melody. So let's see how this version goes. right, so since it had a repeat sign, I took the liberty of doing a bit of jazz improv there on the second verse, which I think fits this certainly. So it is a fun piece, certainly, and I realized while I was playing it, I forgot to read the words like I usually do. And one reason I realized that is the funny thing is, in the lyrics, they actually capitalize the word Misty really big compared to the rest of the text, I guess, just to get the point across. So the lyrics are, look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand, I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way and 1,000 violins begin to play. That's the lyric that most people remember. Or it might be the sound of your hello. That music I hear, I get misty the moment you're near. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own, would I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove? I'm too misty and too much in love. So there you have it.